Coming at you live from my mom's basement in beautiful Pleasant Grove, Utah. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Believe network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. My name is Jeff Snyder. You can find me on Twitter at Snydog. And this guy next to me, that's my friend Clint Pasillas. You can find him, all the social medias at RealFRG. We are, some percentage of the All Dodgers crew. This is 3 nights in a row for the two of us. Tomorrow, we will break that streak. Spiegs will be back tomorrow. That's Jeff Spiegel. For those of you who don't know, not sure who will be with him, but tonight it is Jeff and Clint, and we're here to talk about the Dodgers' series opening win over the Rockies, talking about Kike Hernandez's return. We're talking about the bullpen finally leaving up a run, talking about Emmett Sheehan looking like he was coming out of the game with an injury and instead just pitching 2 2/3 more innings and looking really good. I'm going to talk about a lot of injury updates. So much to talk about in this, Clint. First things we have to talk about, though, is your favorite player, Kyle Hurt.
We're going to Hurt first?
We are. Dodgers bullpen had not allowed a run in 38 innings. Kyle Hurt comes in the game. He himself hadn't allowed a run in 14 innings. And comes in, gives up a leadoff homer to Ezekiel Tovar, who does enjoy hitting homers off the Dodgers. The streak had to end at some point. And for me, if it ends in a win, like I joked last night, Clint, when you and I were getting ready to podcast, that Tanner Scott was going to come in with a 3-run lead and give up a meaningless home run to end the streak. And that would have been a fun way for it to end. Like, okay, you won the game anyway. At this moment, it made it a 3-1 game. Dodgers were already trailing 2-1, made it 3-1. You're like, oh, man. But the offense didn't care. So, how are you feeling? How are you holding up with Kyle Hurt giving up a run?
What's funny is I'm prepping for a busy day tomorrow, so I had the game on my tiny screen here of the 4 screens I have in front of me, and I was like, Kyle's in right now. Wasn't it just 2-1, and then all of a sudden it became 3-1? And I was like, oh, he gave up a homer. And you know what? I respect him for being the guy to be like, I'm going to make sure that we don't have to go down in history as the best bullpen ever because my guy Evan Phillips isn't in the bullpen yet. Have I finished stretching this? Have I stretched it too far now?
Yeah,
listen, it happens. It happens. You give up a run to the Dodgers win, like you said at the top. That's the most important part. Jep, pop. You got to win.
Absolutely. And like it says at the bottom of the screen, late runs are better than no runs. The Dodgers missed some opportunities early in the game. They're 1 for their first 10 or something with runners in scoring position. That one hit didn't even score a run. It was an infield single with the runner on second. And all in all, it looked like it was maybe going to be one of those frustrating games. The thing that was always in the back of my mind was, well, at least they get to face the Rockies pitching the whole game. And ultimately that ended up being the case. In the 7th inning, the first Rockies pitcher, reliever who came in, pitched well in the 6th inning, and then they brought him back out for the 7th, and it didn't go as well. He walked the first 2 batters, threw 9 pitches, and 8 of them were balls in that inning to walk Will Smith and Hae-Sung Kim. Walking Hae-Sung Kim on 4 pitches I guess this is a good time to talk. We were joking. Dave Roberts, he managed a lot tonight. He did a lot of things, including sending Dalton Rushing up as a pinch hitter for Kike Hernandez, who, I guess I'll put this on the screen for a second. Kike, 2 for 2 in his return with an RBI double, and then El Bencho. They said, hey, let's send up Dalton Rushing to hit for you, even though it seemed pretty apparent that the lefty warming up in the bullpen was going to be coming in either way because the Mejia couldn't throw strikes. He had thrown 8 out of 9 balls. So it was an interesting move. It seemed like Dave Roberts wanted to force the Rockies' hand, say, whether you were planning to or not, you have to bring in this lefty now. So maybe it was Miguel Rojas that he wanted up all the time. Maybe the plan going in was 2 plate appearances for Kike in his first time back. Could be a lot of things, but in the moment, it was like, what's going on? And then it goes to 0-2 on Rojas. And I said, come on. And then nothing better than an 0-2 hit by pitch.
Yeah, that's back-to-back games where Miggy Rose come up, got hit by a pitch to load the bases. So, keep doing you, kid, I guess. Last night or yesterday afternoon, it was the knee. Today, it was the shin guard. And apparently, shin guard didn't do enough for him. So, got to get that thing checked out. But, yeah, you load the bases. Shohei comes up, grounds into the double play that wasn't because his fast AF boy immediately, emphatically says, I am safe, run scores. And
we could see it. Like, I didn't even need to look at the TV. I could see it from 661 miles away that it was safe. Like, it's always amazing to me that professional umpires whose one job is to look at this can miss something that obvious. But thank goodness for replay.
Yeah. So replay helps get the call correct. And Mookie does something. It was not a well-hit ball or a hard-hit ball, but it was the ball that needed to be hit in that moment and ties it up right there. And then Freddie, just misses a homer. And then really another really nice piece of hitting. What I love about Pages, amongst the many things we love about Pages this year, is he's been really good at continuing innings. He might not always be a part of like I guess he's been a part of all of them. He's built innings. He has made the big statements, but he's been really good at continuing innings, getting that ever important insurance run there, so we didn't have to feel as worried in the top of the ninth inning. But yeah, late runs are better than no runs, and that's been the calling card for this team in recent vintage. I think every run in the Brewer series was scored fourth inning or later. Today they put their first point on the board in the third because Kike was back and he brought the vibes and he tried to change things up. But listen, score them in bunches whenever, as long as it's more than the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. The tying run was driven in by Mookie Betts. Wouldn't call it a well-hit ball. I popped it up on the screen a minute ago that the Hae-Sung Kim's speed was kind of the difference maker in that at bat. And for Mookie Betts too, knowing I don't even need to hit a deep fly ball. If I get the ball in the air, this is a tie game, which was good because I don't know that he had a deep fly ball in him tonight. But he got it enough in the air, and it wasn't even close. Like a good arm and left, shallow fly ball, but Hae-Sung Kim just has that ridiculous speed, the speed that makes Orion Kerkering panic and do dumb things. The speed is important. And, for Kim, didn't have a great night tonight, but he was on base twice and scored both times, scored the first and third runs for the Dodgers. And, hard to complain too much about that. Ultimately, that inning, it was like, it was what we want to expect from this Dodgers offense. It's just like, oh yeah, at some point they're just going to break out. And I think when this offense is right, or even, not right, they're still not right, but they're right enough that, oh yeah, we can put up 4 in an inning, no problem. And that is an actual real possibility at any time. It's a lot more fun to watch. It does help that you are facing Rockies pitching. Knowing, everybody who comes in and steps on the mound in a Rockies uniform is probably going to be kind of bad at baseball. And that does help you win. I hope there's no Rockies fan. Sorry, I just heard it. Never mind. Yeah. Don't worry. There are no Rockies fans. No, it was a fun inning. It's a Dodgers inning, the kind of thing that we would like to see. You had 2 productive outs, and then you had 2 productive hits. I'll take productive hits over productive outs all day long, but when you've got bases loaded and 1 out or nobody out, 1 out, nobody out, right?
1 out. 1 out was 1 out. So he would have been he was the first out. Yeah, bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah, give me back-to-back productive outs, and suddenly it's a tie game. Again, if they were down by 5 runs, then the productive outs don't help as much, but. There's a time and a place for everything. And that inning, we got the productive outs and then we got the productive hits once there were 2 outs. All in all, just a kind of a platonic ideal of a rally inning.
Yeah. It's the type of stuff you see a well-managed and well-coached baseball team do. And I want to shout out Scout Recycler in the chat, also pointing out Ohtani tagging up on that play was huge because he ends up scoring on the Pages double. No, he scored on Freddie hit it. Yeah, and then Freddie scored on Pages double. Most likely Freddie's still scoring from first on that
Ohtani scoring for first on Freddie's double.
Shohei, exactly. Yeah. Listen, it's been a long day, but still, most likely that's still going to happen with Shohei's speed. But make it easier on yourself. Make it where you don't need to stress and strain, and also, stress the other team by taking advantage. Moving runners up when you can, when it's the right decision, and when you got the right guy, on the base paths to do it. Whether it's a Ha-Seong Kim, whether it's a Shohei Ohtani, that was a fun inning. That was a very fun inning, and I popped in the Discord to say it's like I think hashtag analysis here. I think we should do more of these type of innings instead of all the other innings.
Yeah, so they should do that all 8 times tomorrow. Let's score 32 runs tomorrow. Just have the big 4 run innings. For the people in the chat, obviously Mookie Betts and his offense are a popular topic in the chat. We're not really going to dig into Mookie today. We did that a lot yesterday. We've done it a lot over the last couple weeks. But literally yesterday, these same 2 fat boys right here talked about Mookie's offense. So if you want to hear our thoughts on Mookie's offense, they haven't changed since yesterday. So go watch that one again. Or for the first time, if for some reason you don't watch every day. I don't know why you wouldn't. But anyway, so don't think we're ignoring the elephant in the room. It's just that we just talked to the elephant yesterday. So
yeah, and if we're going to talk about Mookie, the 165, it looks ugly. Even Nelly, and you've talked about it, and I guess we'll talk a tad about it here. You've talked about it, and Stephen Nelson talked about it on the broadcast. There's a lot of positive things in terms of expected numbers, what Mookie could or should be doing. It's a little bit of bad luck, but also the eye test says
the last couple games for sure. It's not so much bad luck. It's it looks bad.
But on that, if we're complaining about Mookie, people need to kind of start gathering some torches and pitchforks to a degree for Will Smith, who's not having a great season by any stretch of the imagination, and really in it right now as well. I'm not saying I have a problem with Will Smith or I hate Will Smith or he needs to be put down or something like that. I'm just saying he too has struggled. And those 2 guys, we talked about it a lot yesterday. Like if you move Mookie down, who do you plug in that 2 hole? Well, in the postseason, in the last 2 games of the World Series, Dave plugged Will Smith in that 2 hole and it worked out, but Will is not hitting. So why are you going to have 2 different guys not hitting in the 2 hole? Eventually they will figure it out. The numbers will climb. They probably won't look like the back of their baseball cards, but as long as they have important hits, big moments, productive hits and outs and all that kind of stuff, by the time October gets here and through October, we will be fine. But as of right now, they are a couple of the guys who are up to no good in the lineup.
Oh,
had to.
Apparently you had to. Talking about Will Smith, you might as well quote the Fresh Prince. I don't know what to do after that, especially after I say we're not going to talk about Mookie, and then you go on a Mookie rant.
Yeah, it's all over here.
Yeah, that's all right.
I had thoughts.
Apparently, and they are very similar to last night's thoughts. I don't know if you saw. Speaking of last night, somebody in the YouTube comments of yesterday's episode implied that you are a racist, Clint, for criticizing Ha-Seong Kim and not Freddie Freeman. Which is weird. Why would you not criticize the guy who got on base 9 times in the 3-game series, but you will criticize the guy who didn't? Clint, what do you have to say for yourself?
I've been outed.
Apparently. Yeah.
I am racist against light hitting second basemen, and it has nothing to do with their ethnicity or where they were born or who they pay credence to. We've also talked bad about Freddie.
Yeah.
It's not a great year for Freddie. He knows
not yet,
that.
But it will be,
Dave, by the way, on Ha-Seong Kim, Dave kind of alluded to the fact before the game. It feels like I'll interpret it my own way, that maybe Kim is playing with a little bit of an eye over his shoulder right now. He's looking behind at the guys that are, coming. Today was a big game. Something we're going to talk about more. Kike Hernandez's return. Hernandez's return. We were wondering who was it going to be that was DFA'd, most likely DFA'd, or the option route. Was it going to be Kim or was it going to be Espinal? Well, it was Espinal, but Kim worried about that, and knowing Tommy Edmonds about to start going on his rehab assignment. just Dave's messaging was just go out there and play baseball, have a good time. And he played a good game today. Got on base a couple times, scored a couple runs, made an impact.
And played good defense. And so, yeah,
Except for that one play. The one where Pages came like 400 feet in from center field.
But Kim was camped under
Kim had it.
No, he was camped.
He looked, the arms to me looked like a little bit like he was like, I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. Pages ended up catching it exactly where Kim had been standing. Yeah. So,
he got a bad first step, but I think he had corrected, but Pages was already there and was like, I got this.
Yeah. I do see people in the chat asking where Jeff Spiegel is. Spiegel will be Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, except when, like last night, he's out of town on one of those days. But that Spiegel on any day other than a Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday will be an exception. And so that's why he's not here tonight, because it's neither Sunday nor Tuesday nor Thursday. #calendar, baby.
We also have 4 different people a part of this channel.
Ooh.
Still hear me?
I think that was me. My thing just popped up, said you're back, you're offline, and then you're back online. So, sorry, guys.
Keep your thing in your pants. Anyways, but the point I was making is we have 4 different people, like hosts, personalities that are a part of the channel. We're all going to be a part of different shows at different times. It's not the most important thing. You guys are most likely getting a post-game show just about every day. And it might be Speegs in that left chair. It might be me in that left chair. It might be Pop in that left chair. But we will all be here in some way, shape, or form. Usually our shape is larger than Speegs, but Speegs will be here tomorrow, and all will be good.
And the one thing we can promise you is Kevin will never be in the left chair.
I was playing around with it. A couple of Saturdays ago. I might give him a Saturday, because I had him right one of the Saturdays. He gave us some good stuff.
All right.
He's a sleeper pick.
I like it.
He's like a 50th round draft pick. He could be the next Mike Piazza.
Hey, we've got a super chat I want to jump to. Our buddy Raul. I can't roll my R's, but it's the white man's curse. $4.99 from Raul. Racist. You guys noticed since we dubbed the bullpen the Confidence Cactus and the Cactus Crew, the scoreless streak started. Just saying. Yeah, Raul was the originator of the term, the Confidence Cactus, to replace Trust Tree that was, tired. Confidence Cactus is wired. And then, I think Cactus Crew was I think that was me, but, it was branching off of Raul's Confidence Cactus. So I love it. I hope it gains traction, like the Stuntmen in 1988. I hope the Cactus Crew becomes the thing, because the Cactus Crew was good. Even tonight. And I guess as long as, we talked about Dave Roberts doing a lot of managing tonight. There was also 2 different visits to the mound in the 4th inning that didn't result in pitching changes. Both of them were injury related. Emmett Sheehan took a hardline drive off his pitching tricep, it looked like. Dave Robertson, the trainer, came out. Sheehan didn't just take one pitch and say, I'm good. He threw 7 or 8 pitches, went through his whole repertoire, made sure he could throw all the pitches, and then said, I'm good. And then Dave Roberts he's like, are you good? After he hung a pitch to whoever it was, Willie Castro maybe, and he comes back out like, are you sure you're good? And I mean, she's like, I said I'm good. And then he proved it. He pitched well the rest of the time. Sheehan, I don't know if it's #mental toughness. I don't know if it's #physical toughness. I was very surprised, Clint, to see Sheehan come back out for the 5th. I wasn't surprised to see him finish the 4th, because adrenaline is a crazy thing. But then in the 5th inning, once you sit down, the adrenaline wears off. I expected that his arm would tighten up, but maybe it just didn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just got lucky and got hit on a spot that doesn't hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense. It got him somewhere where there was enough meat and enough not non-tightening meat. Yes, somebody put that on the shirt. I don't know. He's gonna feel it tomorrow. He's 100% gonna feel it tomorrow. He's gonna be between now and his next start receiving a lot of treatment to get that tricep, whatever kind of where it clipped him, to get that loosened, stretched out, and ready for hopefully another 5 or 6 innings in his next start. But yeah, mental toughness. I mean, that was he has not been great of late. He's had some good moments, some down moments, kind of the story of his season. I think he really needed this for himself. Take advantage of a Rockies team, go out there, 2 runs. I mean, it's the Rockies. Ideally, you don't give up 2 runs, but 2 earned over 6. That's a good outing. That's a really good outing for the kid. And to stay in there when, 2 more games and then you have a day off. So it's not saving the bullpen a whole lot, but they had to work a little bit in that Brewer series. So take care of the Cactus crew.
Yeah, somebody in the Discord joked that maybe the line drive off of Sheehan's arm hit his reset button. Because, the velocity didn't take a noticeable dip after getting hit by the pitch. He looked really good in the 5th and 6th innings. Very efficient in the 5th and kind of dominant in the 6th. And so, got the pitch count up. Really, like you said, the bullpen probably needed a little bit of a break, to only have to do 3 innings, which was really good. Really impressive stuff from Emmett Sheehan. I hope that he wakes up tomorrow feeling okay. It's probably going to be sore. They do have a day off in this time, so he probably won't have to pitch again until next Monday. And so an extra day of rest will help. But yeah, hopefully he's going to be good because he looked really good tonight. Before that and after that, really just those few batters in the 4th inning was a struggle. But other than that, really good outing from Emmett Sheehan. Happy to see that. Let's take a quick break. Let's talk about our friends over at our IQ Bar. We're going to have my friend, Pass Clint, tell us about IQ. Oh, I'm always muted. I just said thanks, IQ Bar, and thanks, Pass Clint. We got a message in the chat from Richard Flores. Apparently his super chat button isn't working, so he just sent a regular chat. He says, #mental toughness, Jeff, give in to the dark side. I'm going to, against my better judgment, I'm going to explain something that I've already explained, even though I know that that's not the effective approach to getting something through Richie's head. But I absolutely believe in mental toughness. I just think that the vast majority of big leaguers have it, and that's why they're in the big leagues. So I think it is much less of a differentiator between big leaguers than it is in high school or even college, definitely Little League. Mental toughness is a huge factor there because not everybody has it. In the big leagues, pretty much everybody has it. And that's why I discount the importance of it as a differentiator sometimes. Not that it doesn't exist, just that it exists in ways that all of us can't really comprehend. And as long as we're talking about Richie, real quick, Rosman in the chat asked something he's asked before, who would win in a home run derby between Richie and me? And if we're at Dodger Stadium, I am positive that neither of us could hit a ball over the wall at Dodger Stadium at this point in our respective elderly lives. But I'm also positive that if you moved the fences in to whatever point I needed them to be for me to be able to hit it over, Richie would hit 0 homers. So if that's, I would beat Richie in the home run derby if it was set up correctly. There are no situations where Richie would beat me.
Bring the fences in. That's what you got to do. And I see our friend Greg. Greg is in the chat being a bitch again. I just want to point out Greg has been complaining about Mookie a lot, and we have also talked a lot about Mookie. I don't think we're being positive. So FOH to yourself there, Greg, and also get a better name.
I'm with you on that. We also have a super chat from somebody we do like. Kevin Dodgers Guerra, $2 super chat.
Third favorite Kevin.
Kevin in the left chair. Second. What's it going to take? More than $2. I know that. No, apparently it might happen at some point. So,
yeah, that's what Saturdays are for. Saturdays are fun days.
That's right.
Not that we're not having fun now.
We do whatever we want on Saturdays.
Hey, did you know the Dodgers have won 10 of their last 12? Isn't that fun?
I did know that. Last time they won 10 of their last 12. Then they faced the Rockies and lost 2 out of 4. Hopefully, this time things go better in this Rockies series. I was thinking about this tonight, Clint. For the Rockies and their I don't remember how many there are, but this had to have been a demoralizing loss because this looked like the chance to steal a game in this series. Because coming into the series, the Dodgers are the better team. The Dodgers are the hotter team. All the things, all the adjectives are pointing in the direction of the Dodgers. And Then you go up 3-1. This was their chance to steal a game in this series. And then actually, if you win the first one, you have a kind of decent chance of winning the series. It's still, even if the Rockies had won this game, I would still expect the Dodgers to win the series because the Dodgers are still going to be strongly favored each of the next 2 games, but has to be demoralizing to not even be able to steal the game. It looks like you're going to be able to when you're just kind of grasping for anything you can get as a Rocky right now,
What's funny is, one of the things I was doing was putting together some show notes for Dodgers territory tomorrow because I have to work ahead. And I already pre-wrote the fact that, the Dodgers had now won 10 of their last 12, 2-game lead in the National League West, all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, is this hubris? Am I getting too far ahead here if I put all that? So what I did to fix the hubris, I italicized it. And I think that fixed everything. But yeah, it felt for maybe just a split second when they were down in the 6th inning, like maybe there's a chance, but no, Dodgers were always going to win.
Hey, speaking of split second, Clint, it appears, I thought it was just me, but in the chat, somebody says that you have a slight delay. So why don't you hop out and then hop back in and let's see if that fixes it. Yeah. I wish I had.
Okay, go to your one shot. You should.
I have it on.
Go to.
There we go. I don't have it set up on my Stream Deck for some reason, but So I'm just gonna. Should we talk about Clint behind his back while he's gone? I like Clint. I couldn't even think of anything bad to say, but. Let's see. Here comes Clint. Let's see if his voice matches up with his face. Say something, Clint.
Hi, everybody. No, that was me messing around. It might be bad. Sometimes it takes a minute to catch up.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
La Jolla Poppy was blaming you. He said, what's up with your bootleg internet? I do think that, because I think it started when my internet glitched. And so I do think that was more my fault. But like most of my problems in life, somebody else had to fix it. That's just how my problems work, My wife appreciates it. This time it was you that had to fix my problems instead of her, Clint. So thank you for that. We talked about Kike. Let's talk a little bit more about Kike, though. Nice to have him back. And for him to come up, obviously the reception from the crowd was huge. Kike, good or bad, we've seen both versions of Kike. We have never seen a version of Kike that is not absolutely adored by the Dodger Stadium crowd. He always has been. He always will be. I was at his first game back when the Dodgers traded for him a couple years ago. And, just the love that the Dodger fans have for Kike Hernandez it's right up there. Like, I don't know if it's the most love, but it's up there. The fans love him. For him to come up and immediately drive in a run, rip a double down the line, probably wouldn't have driven in a run if it had been anybody other than Kim on first base. But, huge hit for Kike coming back. His second time up gets an infield single that, Kyle Caros probably didn't get the memo that Kike looks fast, but he does not actually fast because he probably had a little more time there to make that play. Probably could have even gloved it and thrown and gotten the out, but it's an infield single for Kike. We'll take it. All in all, maybe some of the thoughts of pinch hitting for him was, hey, 2 for 2 is awesome. 2 for 2 with an RBI, got the out on, I think, the only ball hit to him. Said, let's call it a successful return and move on to tomorrow. It's great to see Kike back, for vibes, for RBIs, for all the things, Clint.
I love Manny Man's chat. Kike will never have to pay for a churro in this city again. He doesn't have to pay for a lot of things, but yeah, getting him back, that was, I'm sure he had a lot of warm, fuzzy feelings walking up to the plate. Hadn't even been announced at that point. Obviously had been announced pre-game. So Dodger Stadium, the fans that are there who beat the traffic on an hour earlier start time, but also a holiday, were aware Enrique Hernandez was in the lineup, and they gave him the love, the respect that a 3-time World Series champion deserves. And yeah, immediately makes an impact in this game, holding it down at third base, making his one play and making it look solid. And yeah, RBI double or RBI base hit, and 2 for 2 in this game. Hit the showers, kid. You had a great return, and the vibes were through the roof. The Dodgers are 1-0 in the Kike return era.
Yeah. It is, hopefully they can keep that up, and he looked good at the plate. Obviously the second one wasn't hit hard. The first one was, but I remain hopeful that his struggles last year were injury related. We got news today that Dr. Elatrash said that Kike's elbow was one of the worst things he's ever seen. Couldn't believe that he had played with that for that happened in May, right? The injury?
It was May 28th. So we're coming up on a year ago that he had injured his elbow. And at that point, he wasn't hitting great. It's Kike Hernandez. He's never going to hit great, but he was having a pretty productive year at the plate. 740 OPS up to that point, 7 homers, 17 RBI. Then eventually, as he said when speaking with the reporters before the game, he said that he looked, he was looking at an at bat, and they put the graphic up that said he's like hitting 080 over his last X amount of games. He's like, all right, we need to cash it in for a little bit. Let's hit the IL. Let's take a little bit of a break. But after the 28th, hit a $180 OPS, just a little over 500. He was severely hampered by that elbow injury. And I haven't read the stories yet about it. My presumption has been pretty much that he tore his UCL in his non-throwing elbow. Was that what they said it was?
I actually don't know for sure. I saw the cut quote specifically about Kike Hernandez telling Dr. Elatrash, you need to call Andrew Friedman and tell him that so he knows how much I sacrificed for that World Series title, because I'm a free agent right now, basically. He needs to bring me back, which I love. It's a very Kike thing to do. But yeah, he played for 5 months with that injury last year, and didn't hit well, but had some key hits and some great defense, some key defensive plays in that World Series. Like, you could make a decent case the Dodgers don't win the World Series without Kike Hernandez, or at least, not the way they did. That Game 6 game-ending double play, Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas both made ridiculous plays on that. That who knows what happens if the Blue Jays get another batter, So all sorts of love for Kike Hernandez. I hope that the bat comes back with the health, because we don't need him to be a superstar, but if he plays such good defense at so many positions, if he can just be above average hitter, that's very, very valuable for this Dodgers team.
Yeah. I want to change gears for a second. Court in the chat saying, my Discord account is disabled. Please help. Courtney had joined on the Discord or on the Patreon a couple days ago. I sent a link over. Check your messages on Patreon, and if it doesn't work, message me there and we'll get you set up on our Discord. Love to have you in the chat. Court paid for an entire year up front to join us on and support on Patreon, and that's just really cool. We appreciate the hell out of you for doing that.
Absolutely. If you want to join the Discord, go to patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month gets you access. There's a QR code right over my right ear. And check it out. It's a lot of fun hanging out during games. Some games are more dramatic in there than others.
Which makes it fun as well.
Yeah.
Overreactions together.
Let's just hope the Dodgers score in the first inning of every game so that we never have to get to the, oh no, we suck again stage of the Discord. But yeah, check it out. Join us there. And like Clint said, $5 membership here on YouTube also gets you in if you want to go that route. Although Patreon's maybe a little bit better if you're flipping a coin. Don't flip the coin, just do Patreon. Let's talk. There's so many things about this game. I guess let's go back. So we mentioned Kike Hernandez getting pinch hit for. There was one more Dave Roberts move that came very late in the game. The decision to, with a runner on first base, 2-run lead, 2 outs in the 9th inning, and Dave Roberts goes out and gets Blake Trinan to come in. I know some people didn't like it.
Somebody in the chat, I saw at least one that said, anybody else get nervous when Blake Trinan came in with that to get that final out?
I will probably always get nervous when Blake Trinan comes in at this point in his career. But Braxton Fulford, the guy who was pinch hitting, his role on that team is to mash lefties.
That's not a name.
I didn't make that one up. I promise. That's the name that his parents gave him. So take it up with Mr. and Mrs. Fulford. I wonder what his parents are named. Anyway, his job is to match lefties. Somebody else in the chat way earlier, Honey Oats, said Vesia's command has been a little bit shaky lately. Vesia, he's been getting the results, obviously, because everybody on the Cactus crew has been getting results. But, yeah, he hasn't been peak Alex Vesia. And so other than it's always going to be annoying when we're, this close, when Dieter Rule is always already playing, time to say goodbye, all those things. And, 2 outs. And then you go, I don't know that there will ever be a 2 outs in the ninth inning pitching change that doesn't annoy me. But this one made sense. And then Blake Trinan came in and did exactly what he was supposed to do. He struck out Braxton Fulford or whatever his name is. And the Dodgers won the game. But, yeah, it was kind of capped off a night of a lot of managing done by Dave Roberts tonight.
Listen, it's Memorial Day. It's a holiday. Maybe Doc had a couple of shots of tequila before the game, and then he was like, I'm really going to be a part of this one tonight.
I just want to say on behalf of all Dodgers, we are not accusing of Dave Roberts of being drunk on the job. That is a tongue-in-cheek postulation.
I'm not being racist.
By Clint Facetious.
Listen, if you win the ball game, you made all the right decisions, and that's exactly what happened. That's what Dave does a lot of the times, especially in recent vintage, in recent era. And by recent, I mean 2-time World Series champion. A lot of things went wrong, as we've talked about time and time again in the early run of Doc, looking at 16, looking at 17, definitely looking at 2019. 17 was a little bit out of his hands because bang, bang. 2020, he started learning to manage the bullpen a little bit better, gave up or, moved Kenley Jansen out of the closer's role. 22, 23, that was more just nobody performing and having no starting pitching. Thankfully, those years happened because that forced the ownership group to open up their wallets and go, let's go get Yamamoto. Let's go get Tyler Glasnow. Let's go get Shohei Ohtani. Eventually he'll pitch, but he will hit like a mofo for us. Dave has evolved. He has grown a whole bunch, and he made the decisions that he felt needed to be made to win this game, up to and including 1 out save. It was a save. 1 out save for Blake Trinan.
Yep. And like you said, say what you will, but they pinch hit for Kike, and it was 3-1 Rockies, and 5 batters later it was 5-3 Dodgers. And it's not because of that, but we kind of have to trust at some point that Dave Roberts knows his team, knows what they're going through. I remember a year or two ago, Max Muncy talking about how Dave Roberts just takes bullet after bullet to provide cover for his players, knowing, this guy's got a baby at home, didn't sleep well last night. I'm going to take this one on, I'll make a move that's going to be unpopular, and, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus for it. I'm just going to, Dave Roberts, and it helps having that job security. He's won 3 World Series titles, 3.5. He knows that the front office has his back. And so he can just, if nothing else, he knows that fans and media criticizing him isn't going to have any impact on his job security, because he knows that Andrew Friedman isn't paying even a tiny bit of attention to that.
And on that conversation, I've had that conversation directly with him in the past, and up to and including him, his family pays a lot more attention to social media than he does. But he admitted at a point there, he would look at that, he would see some of the noise and some of the chatter. Now he doesn't think about it. He doesn't look at it. He doesn't need to care about it. And it's made him a lot better, not only having the growth and learning curve over, this now 11-year tenure that we're in, team also getting a lot better along the way. But like you're saying, knowing that everybody in the organization has his back, where he can put himself out there when needed, is great. There's not as many times we said it in the past about like people in the fire Dave Roberts era, name a better manager for this baseball team. There, you will not find one that is alive or available. And also Ryan said, not tequila. I've seen Doc's office. You just got to open the cabinets. they're down there.
He's stocked up, huh?
Bourbon and tequila is usually in Doc's office, along with wine. But you don't have wine before a baseball game. Come on now.
Yeah,
DC we're not
says
animals.
DC says it well. She says Dave Roberts has more than enough credit in the bank with me. His success speaks for itself. Yeah. We will.
What a weird tangent off of Blake Trinan for a 1-out save.
It's all right.
A good point for Matty Man as well, though. If you're trying to build confidence in Blake,
And somebody mentioned that last time he faced him, David Lee, trying to give up 3 runs, getting 0 outs. The last time he faced the Rockies, maybe Dave was trying to heal Blake mentally. I don't know. I think this was just about, hey, we got a lefty masher coming up. I've got a righty warming up in the bullpen, because Trinan was already warming up because Vesia did look a little bit shaky, got into a bad count. One guy ended up getting the out, then he gives up a hit. And so it's like, well, I got to have somebody warming up. And so then it's like, well, they're setting up a right-handed pinch hitter whose job is to mash lefties. I have a warmed up righty. I might as well do it. And it worked. And it was, like most manager moves, there is no right and wrong. There's, what gives us the best chance of winning? And you could make a case that, they had about the same chance of winning by leaving Vesia in. But, I don't think bringing Trinan in reduced the chances. And, we'll take it. Hey, the Dodgers play the Rockies again tomorrow, Clint. And our friends over at FanDuel, sponsor of all Dodgers, have some thoughts on this game. Tomorrow is the day that Kyle Freeland pitches. Kyle Freeland against Eric Lauer. 2 left-handed pitchers who the Dodgers traditionally haven't hit super well at times. Luckily, one of them is pitching for the Dodgers. If you want to say, luckily, Eric Lauer is pitching for the Dodgers. All that said, even with Eric Lauer, the Dodgers starting pitcher, the Dodgers are minus 235 favorites in this game tomorrow. That boils down to, Kyle Freeland, as we mentioned yesterday, has been really bad this year. And also, the Dodgers are a much better team than the Rockies. The odds at FanDuel underscore that. So you can find odds on all the games. If you want to look, for example, the Padres lost to the Phillies today. They play again tomorrow. And the Padres are favored, minus 118 favorites, with Randy Vasquez going against Aaron Nola tomorrow. In that game, Dodgers are up by 2.5 games now, right? With the Padres losing today. So
is it 2.5 or 2?
I think it's 2.5. Aaron Nola hopefully can step up for the Dodgers tomorrow and beat the Padres again. And Eric Lauer can step up for the Dodgers, which I still think of Eric Lauer as a Padre. So it's all weird. But my point is you can find all those odds over at FanDuel, proud or at least willing sponsor of all Dodgers.
Hey, you mentioned 2.5 game lead in the division. Dodgers only 2 games back of the best record in the National League. And that is with a really just miserable, 10, 12 game stretch earlier this month.
Yeah, at least.